Hi, welcome to my channel. Here is a new story just for you. Enjoy. The Vacation Gone Wrong. Chapter 1, The Reunion. It was a warm summer day when Alex, Brooke, and Carter decided to escape their mundane lives and embark on a much-anticipated vacation. The trio had been best friends since childhood, and this trip was meant to be a celebration of their enduring friendship. They chose a picturesque beach town, known for its serene landscapes and peaceful ambience, far from the hustle and bustle of their city lives. As they strolled along the sandy shore, reminiscing about old times, they heard familiar voices calling out their names. To their astonishment, they saw two old friends, Liam and Zoe, whom they hadn't seen in years. Liam and Zoe had moved away long ago, and their sudden appearance felt like a delightful twist of fate. "Can you believe this?" Alex exclaimed, eyes wide with surprise. "It's like the universe wanted us all to reunite," Brooke added, her smile broad. Liam and Zoe looked different, more sophisticated and somewhat mysterious. They welcomed Alex, Brooke, and Carter with open arms and suggested they all catch up over drinks. The group laughed and chatted, sharing stories of the past and their recent lives. As the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky with hues of orange and pink, Liam pulled out a small bottle filled with pills. "These are something special," Liam said with a knowing smile. "They help you relax and forget all your worries. We take them all the time." Brooke, always the cautious one, hesitated, but Alex and Carter, eager for a new experience, persuaded her to join them. Trusting their long-lost friends, they each swallowed a pill, unaware of the nightmare that awaited them. Chapter 2, The Trap. Within minutes, the three friends felt an overwhelming sense of euphoria. Their surroundings blurred, and they could no longer distinguish reality from illusion. Liam and Zoe's demeanor shifted from friendly to sinister. They quickly overpowered Alex, Brooke, and Carter, taking advantage of their impaired state. The friends' belongings were looted, wallets, phones, and valuables gone in an instant. When they awoke, they were in a dimly lit basement, bound and helpless. Panic set in as they realized they had been kidnapped by the very people they once trusted. The basement was a stark contrast to the beach's beauty, a cold, damp room with concrete walls that exuded an oppressive sense of dread. The smell of mold and decay hung heavy in the air. "We have to get out of here," Carter whispered, his voice shaking. "But how?" Brooke replied, her eyes wide with fear. Chapter 3, The Descent. Days turned into weeks. Each morning, Liam and Zoe would forcefully administer more pills to their captives, ensuring they remained addicted and subdued. The drugs took a toll on their minds and bodies. Alex and Carter tried to resist, but their attempts were futile against the overpowering need for another dose. Brooke, the most resistant, often bore the brunt of their captors' wrath, but even her willpower began to wane. The basement was a chamber of horrors. The walls were stained with the blood and sweat of previous victims. Cries of agony echoed through the damp, cold air, a grim reminder of their fate. Liam and Zoe delighted in tormenting them, using crude instruments to inflict pain, testing the limits of their endurance. Cuts, bruises, and burn marks marred their bodies, turning their once carefree vacation into a grotesque nightmare. Liam and Zoe's motivations became clear. They were running an illegal drug operation, using their captives to test and refine their products. They reveled in the control they exerted over the trio, manipulating their dependents for their gain. Chapter 4, The Horrors Unveiled. One day, Alex awoke to find Carter gone. In his place was a pool of blood and a few scattered teeth. The sight was too much for Alex, who broke down in hysterics. Liam and Zoe, enjoying the show, dragged Alex away, leaving Brooke alone in the dank cell. Carter returned later that night, barely recognizable. His face was swollen and bruised, his eyes hollow and filled with pain. He couldn't speak, only groan in agony. "Please, let us go," Brooke begged, tears streaming down her face. "We'll do anything." Liam sneered. "You already are," he replied, kicking Carter aside. The days grew darker. The friends were forced to endure unspeakable tortures. Their captors would cut into their flesh, watching with sadistic pleasure as they screamed. They were starved, their bodies reduced to skin and bone. Brooke and Alex would hold each other at night, their sobs the only comfort in their shared misery. Chapter 5: The Escape. Months passed in a haze of addiction and despair. Brooke, however, harbored a secret resolve. She began to feign compliance, taking the pills but not ingesting them. Slowly, her mind cleared, and she started plotting an escape. She observed Liam and Zoe closely, noting their routines, the times they were most vulnerable, and any potential weaknesses in their makeshift prison. Brooke noticed that Liam and Zoe would often become distracted after administering the drugs, confident that their captives were too sedated to pose any threat. They would retreat upstairs, leaving the basement door locked, but not monitored. The opportunity. One fateful night, Brooke decided it was time to act. She had secretly collected small pieces of metal from the decaying basement, fashioning a crude tool to pick the lock on her chains. With trembling hands, she carefully worked the makeshift lockpick, the hours of practice finally paying off as she heard the satisfying click of the lock opening. "Alex, wake up," she whispered urgently, shaking him gently. Alex stirred, his eyes bloodshot and weary. "Brooke? What?" "I've unlocked my chains. We have to get out of here now." The execution. Brooke quickly freed Alex from his chains. They moved cautiously, aware that any noise could alert Liam and Zoe. The basement was dimly lit by a single flickering bulb, casting long, eerie shadows that seemed to dance with their every movement. They reached Carter, who was too weak to move. His body was a ghastly sight, riddled with sores and festering wounds. Brooke's heart ached, but she knew they couldn't carry him out without risking all their lives. "Carter," Brooke whispered, tears welling up in her eyes. "We're going to get help. We'll come back for you, I promise." Carter nodded weakly, his eyes filled with both pain and gratitude. "Go, save yourselves." The escape. Brooke and Alex navigated the dark basement, avoiding the creaking floorboards they had memorized during their captivity. They reached the stairs leading to the main floor, each step taken with painstaking caution. The door at the top of the stairs was their first real obstacle. Brooke used her makeshift lockpick again, praying silently as she worked. Finally, the lock clicked open. Brooke eased the door open a crack, peering into the dimly lit hallway. The house was silent except for the distant hum of a television. Liam and Zoe were likely in the living room, distracted and unsuspecting. "Come on," Brooke whispered, taking Alex's hand. They moved stealthily down the hallway, their bare feet silent on the cold, wooden floor. As they neared the back door, they heard a noise behind them, Zoe's laughter, growing closer. Panic surged through Brooke, but she forced herself to stay calm. They reached the back door, and Brooke fumbled with the lock. Her hands shook, slick with sweat. Alex kept watch, his heart pounding in his chest. "Hurry, Brooke," he urged in a whisper. The lock finally gave way, and they slipped outside into the cool night air. The contrast was sharp and bracing, but they couldn't afford to stop and savor it. They ran, adrenaline fueling their weary bodies, pushing them onward, despite the pain and exhaustion. The road to freedom. They ran through the dense woods behind the house, branches scratching their skin, the underbrush tugging at their legs. They didn't stop until they reached a small road, where they collapsed in a heap, gasping for breath. "Brooke, what if they find us?" Alex panted, looking over his shoulder. "We'll keep moving," Brooke replied, her voice firm, despite her exhaustion. "We have to find help." They continued down the road, their pace slower but determined. After what felt like hours, they saw headlights approaching. Desperation pushed them forward, and they stumbled into the path of the oncoming car, waving their arms frantically. The driver, a kind-hearted woman named Maria, stopped and immediately called the authorities. Brooke and Alex were taken to the nearest hospital, where they were treated for their injuries and malnutrition. Their emaciated, disheveled appearances told a tale of unimaginable suffering. The authorities were alerted, and a raid was conducted on Liam and Zoe's hideout. The scene that greeted them was one of pure horror. Carter's lifeless body, contorted in agony, lay amidst the filth and remnants of drug paraphernalia. The vacation that was meant to be a joyous reunion turned into a tragic tale of betrayal and loss. Liam and Zoe were arrested and charged with multiple crimes, including kidnapping, drug trafficking, and murder. Brooke and Alex returned home, forever changed by their harrowing experience. They vowed to honor Carter's memory by raising awareness about the dangers of trusting too easily and the devastating effects of addiction. Their scars, both physical and emotional, served as a constant reminder of the nightmare they survived. In the end, their friendship, though scarred, endured the test of darkness. They found solace in each other and the strength to rebuild their lives, always carrying with them the haunting memories of their nightmarish vacation gone wrong. The escape, though harrowing, was a testament to their resilience and will to survive. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe to my channel.